Owie, owie, owie.
Hör mal. Agent!
Au, jou malhond.
I like to show you that I want money.
Bruh.
Sorry?
Hi! Welcome to episode 3 of Yo
Podcast.
My name is Michelle,
I'm Jody.
and yeah, let's get it poppin'.
Let's get it poppin'. I feel like... Oh, we should probably say that it's been more than a week since we released our last.
Well, then we supposed to do it every 2 weeks, but then
Life happens.
yeah, guys, it was actually quite hectic. Do you know, there was like a period of time where I thought that we were not going to do this again.
Did you really?
Yeah, because it just got so hectic and I just could not wrap my head around like how time was going to open up so that I could do this research.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so busy.
Because there's not enough hours in the day.
And also like not a lot of people listen to the second episode, so it makes you think like, is it worth doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But here we are anyway. For like what only my sister and
My brother, our siblings,
our
basically.
siblings. We're just making this for our siblings.
Yeah, shout out. You guys are the real ones. As usual. You know who you are.
You were there when no one else was there for us. And we have no choice. But
Shout out to you too. You know who you are. You know, like, remember when everyone used to listen to Grow and there's like, and then you phone in and they're like, do you want to make a shout out? And it was like the best thing that could possibly happen to you.
yes, and you would like call you like you on BBM, be like, good up FM now.
One time we were on our way to UCT, like we were driving to campus in the morning at like 6 o'clock. And we were listening to Good Up and then one of the girls phoned in. And I was like, you go girl. I was like, I didn't know people actually, well obviously they did it, but this girl like did it and I was like, she just was like, I'm gonna phone. And I was like, yo.
Like an unknown concept. Oh my gosh, that was something that
Yeah.
I could do. Like, you know that other people do it, but you didn't know that, like, you know, when it really hits close to home. I've never done it. My cousins have done it, and they told me, listen, you must listen now. And then, you know, you tune in and you're like, wild. It's so wild.
Oh my word, I'm having a recovered memory. But one time my mother phoned into Cape Talk.
To say what?
I don't know, but it was, I can't even remember which show it was. It was probably the John Matham show. Because she used to listen to that guy. Every day. And it was the bane of my existence.
There is nothing that you can't vice John Matham.
Exactly. I'm too scared to phone into his show.
There's nothing that he doesn't know.
Because he will just say, no, you're wrong. Because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then you look like a fool on the whole radio.
You can be like, John Matham, what am I wearing today? And he'll be like, Jody, unfortunately, you're wearing 2 misshapen socks with a potato hole in it. And
But I was so embarrassed when she did that, Michelle.
why?
Because why would you phone it? Because I didn't want her to say something on Cape Talk.
Why?
It's just embarrassing. But this was like younger me, so obviously I just thought anything she did was embarrassing.
But did you think that other people were going to listen and be like, oh my gosh, Jody's mom?
No.
You just...
But I knew. So for just within me, one person. Wow, they
It actually doesn't make any sense, but okay. Housekeeping. Please follow us. Subscribe to the podcast. Review. Follow us on the socials, the social networks. Jody, what's our handles?
Our Instagram handle is your_podcast.
YOH.
YOH people, please. And the Twitter is the same, your_podcast.
How do you spell away?
AWE.
Like or.
Yeah.
So you're not putting the H at the end.
No, you put the H at the end.
To make it clear, because otherwise I'm reading the word or.
But in the context.
For me, if it's away, there must be a capital on the E.
Okay.
Or it should be an H, like away. Like your has an H.
Mm.
Like to, I don't want to say gamify it, but to distinguish. No, that's not the right word. But to distinguish it as slang is what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get you. But I always just say why like or AH double.
In my
I can't even remember. AWE.
Oh wait. Okay, so that's the housekeeping done, I guess.
That was housekeeping. How do you spell away?
I know. The housekeeping was subscribe and follow.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is like the thing on the news that was interesting for you this week?
Okay, there's obviously a major catastrophic world event going on right now, which I don't know if we must talk about, because I'm not an expert at all on this
People are
thing.
saying that it's World War III.
I don't think we should jump to that conclusion just yet.
But that's what the World Health Organization said about the pandemic, and then they called it a pandemic when it was like way too late. All I'm saying is like America is like, we're not gonna go in, because if we jump into this pool, then it is in fact World War III.
Yeah.
So America is like, y'all fight it out. And in the meantime, Ukraine is like, guys, can you not see how I'm being like bullied right now? And mommy America is like, you guys need to sort it out amongst yourselves.
I don't think anyone wants to get involved. Like the other countries are just
Yeah,
like...
because the ramifications
Yeah.
are like crazy.
Yeah.
But but to be honest with you, nobody gets involved in other countries' business when it's like an African country, when it's like there's so many other things happening, and other countries are like, did you see what Prince William said?
Yes! Disappointed but not surprised. I mean, that man... Are we allowed to say this on podcasts, on air?
Say what? That he's a doofus and that he can like suck a dick. Yes.
Yeah, that...
I can't stand him. I can't believe he said. And did you see the coverage like about like all of these news reporters being like, the fact that this is happening in Europe, in a civilized nation. Did you not see that?
No, I saw it, but I'm just being shocked again. Like, it's bad. Obviously, we don't want people to be fighting each other. No one must be invading anyone. Please. Regardless of where you are in the world. But let's also not ignore the identity politics at play. And it's like, are people surprised that they are white refugees? Like it's never existed before in the universe. Like,
They're like, oh my god, not the whites.
not
the
white people fleeing their countries.
Leave the whites alone, you guys.
Yeah, it's actually very upsetting.
When I think about it, I get so unfathomably angry.
Yeah.
It's just like, it messes with my body. I had to leave my phone alone.
Yeah, no, there was a point where I was like, I actually can't even look at this.
The social media Grammarly changed their icon from green to like the Ukrainian flag.
I saw that in the week.
I was like, Grammarly? What?
Yeah, no, it's very upsetting.
Anyway, but then Ramaphosa was apparently asked to mediate.
I saw that! not gonna lie, when I saw that headline, I literally LOL'd in real life. I was like, ha! I know to be fair, Ramaphosa is very chill. So maybe he'll be a good mediator. But also I don't want them to do it. I don't want us to do it.
Jody, we had a failed nuclear deal with Russia that they really, really wanted.
Exactly.
On what ground is this, like, how is this relationship gonna work?
But the other problem is that we are part of the BRICS group and Russia is part of the BRICS group. And that's why they don't want to say that that's why the presidency's statement on the war is so problematic and we take a neutral ground.
We have flip-flopped on this so badly. We issued a statement being like, you must pull out. Then, when there was the UN vote, we were like,
it's
we moonwalked away from that.
It's actually so embarrassing.
Yes! And we are acting like people who don't know what we have. Like, guys, we also have our own economic power and we also have our own important resources. Like, do you not understand that? Do you not understand the power of, like, leveraging your own interests? Like, if the Americans are asking us to mediate, I would be like, what are you going to give me?
Yeah.
What are you going to give me for talking to this guy and for, like, potentially bringing about peace? You must give me stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing is, out of all the countries they want us to do it, why did they choose us? There are so many countries that they choose us and they're putting us in the eyes internationally, dude.
I don't know about India. Do you know what they did this week?
Who?
India.
What did they do?
They fired a missile accidentally into Pakistan.
No, that was not an accident. They're just saying that it was an accident.
They were like, we are so sorry about what we did, Pakistan, and
because they're not friends.
No, dude. And Pakistan was like, you better be careful.
So someone accidentally pressed the button.
I don't know what happened. This is just like what was on the news. Is like they said it was an accident, a technical error, a glitch, and they conducting a thorough investigation. And we are so relieved that there were like no deaths and no casualties.
Guys, please be careful out there.
So India fumbled the bag, so we can't trust her.
Whoever pressed that button needs to get fired. Seriously, whoever pressed that button by accident or not needs to get fired.
Do you think there was a button, or do you think it was like, you must update the system and then they didn't update and then...
I would like to think it was a button. Like big red button.
Like a missile button.
Yeah.
I think all missiles must come with big red buttons. And only when you press that button, okay, then it's go time.
Yeah.
It mustn't be like a Hey Siri situation.
Yeah. Please.
Or like
guys.
if you don't schedule the updates, then we're just gonna go ahead and update it. Like, it mustn't be like that.
Please, guys. Don't fire missiles by accident. We have enough problems.
Pakistan, are you just...
Did you see we have a new Chief Justice?
Yes, it's our boy.
It's our boy. Apparently this process wasn't supposed to last this long. It's not supposed to take 6 months to choose a Chief Justice, bro.
Can I tell you something really funny? So my sister's in Ireland.
Who is one of the people we mentioned at the start, the sibling. Shout out.
Oh wait. So she said she didn't get a police clearance because the people who do the police clearance in Pretoria didn't pay their rent for so many months.
Hey?
So nobody could go to work. So that's why her police clearance wasn't done. Do you think that's real?
Yes.
I would believe anything at this point. That must be like someone called her and told her that.
Yeah, because how would she have that information?
Okay, so we have one machine that prints all of the
Yeah.
all driver's licenses get printed by one machine that broke down.
And had to be sent to Germany for some reason.
And the Pretoria people didn't pay their rent at a government building that I would have assumed they own anyway. But okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you own the building? It's more...
Do you know what? I don't even want to know the answer to that question.
My sister said, like, she was like, you know how people always complain and be like, oh, this country's going to the dogs. We are in the dogs. Like, we are the dogs now. Like, look around, sis.
Yeah. It's bad. No, it is bad. There's never any good news in this segment.
No.
Now I know why on My Favorite Murder at the end they have like that good news segment.
Okay. No, you must. But actually, like, to be honest with you, I just feel that the more we learn, the more depressed we become.
Yeah.
And so I
Ignorance is
can't blame
bliss.
people for not wanting to, like, know. I can't
Yeah.
blame us.
They, like, those people seem really happy.
Ignorance is bliss, and there's never been a truer thing.
Truly. Imagine not those people who don't know what state capture is. They're having a great time. I'm so upset.
Okay, I have one more news story for you.
Oh boy. Spill it.
Do you know who Bata Mile Dlamini is?
This woman. How can you commit perjury, bruh? In the year 2022.
They went and they looked at the receipts and they were like, sister, and
And then, did you see they were like, no, she can't go to jail because she's a pensioner.
say more.
That's what I just saw the headline and I didn't click on it because I was like, if I read this, I'm going to be upset.
How much do you think her pension is?
It was like more than, is it like 40K?
Jody? They told the court, her lawyer said to the court, guys, she can't go to jail, and she also can't pay a fine because she's a pensioner. She only survives on 40,000 rand a month from Parliament.
Shame. Which is like, do you know what the rest of South Africa survives on?
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
And then she also only gets 70,000 rand from the ANC Women's League.
Do you know how much the average South African survives on?
So she's getting 110,000 rand a month. And then she also went on to explain that she has to take care of her parents who are still alive, and she also has kids that she's putting through university.
No one cares.
Why you?
Literally no one cares.
I'm
How is that
offended.
our problem that you decided to have kids?
Yeah, but also like the fact that you're getting 2 pensions?
No, it's ridiculous.
What?
It must be so nice.
Do you know, like, they must put her on SASSA? You must work for the government. Do you know what the SASSA grant is? Then we see how you grovel. Then we see how you feel about that. The SASSA's like, what, 1,000 rand a month?
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
Yeah.
And you're complaining? No. Lock her up. Lock her up.
And this is not the first time she was found guilty of something.
No.
No, it is very, very upsetting. Perjury. Of
The
all
more I
things.
think about it, the angrier I get.
I know, yeah. Like, half of the population in this country is poor.
Jody, a month. A month.
That's more than what some South Africans earn in their entire lifetime.
If she took half of that, like 50K times, like, whatever, within, like, she can buy, like, so many houses for that money.
I'm sure she does have plenty of houses. Yeah.
Let's take a break.
And we are back. We're about to continue. Say capture part 3.
Away.
We just had a really nice lunch also, by the way.
In this country, South Africa, there's an existing business. Can you believe it? A business that still exists.
That is reasonably priced, well packaged, tasty.
It's called Burgo.
Can you sponsor us?
This episode brought to you by Burgo.
Imagine we just eat burgers the whole time.
So like I just want to say burger shout to you guys because you have a vegetarian burger that's not shit, and I'm there for it. Dude, they're on Uber's Eats and Mr. D and Bolt Food, but cancel Bolt Food. Bolt Food boycott Bolt, boycott rapists on Bolt.
Please don't get into cars, people. That's not what I want to. Don't get into cars. That's not what I want to say.
Don't get into any car ever.
Yeah.
Fly wherever you want to go.
Fly or walk?
You can make like a snake. You can crawl your way.
To the worm. It's a new mode of transport. What am I even saying, Michelle?
Oh
Okay.
Hi. Okay. No. Let's be duck serious.
Let's go. This is serious business.
Okay. So episode 1 was State Capture. We spoke about SARS. And we also spoke about that consultancy firm that
Bain & Co.
Bain & Co. that came in and just... Yo, Bain. What a wow. Then episode 2 we spoke about... Jody?
The nuclear deal with
Oh.
Russia and Putin, who... Let's not even go down that road again. We spoke about how we had multiple finance ministers, some of which we knew, some of which we did not know. I.e. Des van Rooyen.
Des! What kind of a name is Des?
It's for David.
Des is short for
I
David.
googled him.
His name is David,
I think so, yeah.
but they called him Des.
Mm.
Are you serious?
I'm 99% sure.
Okay.
I just want to Google this guy's real name because I feel like it's important to know Des van Rooyen's name.
Dick is short for Richard.
How?
It's the thing that the English people do. Okay, so Dick is short for Richard, and then Bill is short for William.
Also, how?
But Des and David?
Dave is short for David.
No, this is my chat.
David Douglas van Rooyen.
A man without a spade.
David Douglas van Rooyen. And remember I was like, isn't he something in the Northern Cape? I'm going to tell you where he was.
Okay. Yo, guys, we're learning who's who in the zoo.
Where was he born? It's very important to have context, Michelle.
What if he was literally born, like, on a crater in the moon? Like, that's how random he is.
It doesn't even say where he was born. It just said where he went to high school. Shame. Hi, shame. His personal interests are soccer, golf, tennis, reading, and hunting. Yikes.
He's so cancelled to me now.
But you know that his nickname is Weekend Special because he
Yeah,
was
shame.
That's actually embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie.
He can't walk into the club anymore.
Were you obsessed with this man?
Okay, Jody, I want to tell you that we're gonna meet more people today in this episode. Okay, so initially with the State Capture series, I envisioned it being like we're gonna talk about the biggest, juiciest news, like was it Praveen Gordhan who testified at the Zondo Commission that he was offered a bribe and he was like what? So I was going to talk about like all of those things, but then when I started doing research I realized that I would need to pick the things like per organization. So it was like nuclear, and that involved ESCOM, and then the other thing would have been SARS, and now today we're talking about Transnet. So the Transnet thing is huge because Transnet and Eskom put together make up 75% of our nation's expenditure.
Oh boy.
Am I saying no? Am I right? Is it expenditure or income?
Because those are two very different things.
Not me making up lies. Here we go. Transnet spent a total of 37 billion rand over the 2013 to 2018 period on contracts that had direct links to state capture, amounting to 60% of the country's capex. Capex is capital expenditure. That's money that you spend on capital, and capital is the stuff that you have that you need to keep your business alive. So
Okay, I got you.
if the country is a business, then we need to export coal, and to export coal we need capital. What's the capital? It's trains, it's the mining goedetjies, it's the
Okay.
ships. That's like what I'm saying. So if you don't understand what I just said, I just told you, so I really can't help you.
So can you say that number again, please?
Between 2013 to 2018, 60% of the company's capital expenditure was spent on fraudulent contracts.
Oh my god.
But there's a table where they detail like where all of the money is spent, like between the SOEs, like which one spends the most money, and it's Eskom,
Yeah. Thought so.
57%, and then Transnet is 18%, and that's the second highest number. So Transnet spends a lot of money, and between the nuclear deal and Transnet, that made up like the bulk of money that was lost. Like, okay, 37 billion rand. What? That's a lot of money. Like, it's an unfathomable amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said that right. That made sense. Let's move on. The sources for today's episode is The Anatomy of State Capture. Again, highly recommended. Iconic.
Start marker.
We need...
We have clearly not seen each other for a long time. Because we are just...
Anatomy of State Capture, edited by Nina Callahan, Robin Foley, and Mark Swilling.
Thank you for your work.
You guys. So the book was edited by those three people, but the chapters were contributed by like research groups. It's heavily referenced. Like
Good. We want that.
like there's the universities got involved. They drew up the charts and they made pie graphs and heat maps and stuff, and it's like, it's a whole gedoente. Okay, source number 2, the Zondo report, otherwise known as the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into State Capture Report, part 2, volume 1, Transnet. That was written by the now Chief Justice Raymond Zondo.
My boy.
Zondo memories.
What do you think he's doing right now? Do you think... I don't think he has weekends. I think he works all the time. He's 100% a workaholic.
You know what I want for him? I want for him to be on a yacht,
Yeah.
sipping a Negroni with his feet up.
Yeah.
I want like someone there, like
Fanning
fanning him with a
him.
palm tree. I want like someone to give him a nice foot massage.
Yeah.
Cut the bunions, just.
And I hope his wife is like next to him getting her nails done. And his kids.
Uncle Raymond, if you're hearing this, you deserve, okay? And we are so grateful for you. Also, I really hope there's nothing else dodgy in your life.
Yeah, please. I'm just realizing as we're saying this, something's going to come out because, this is Viva South Africa.
Source number 3. This is like a weird thing, but a Wikipedia page about Malusi Gigaba. And I highly recommend people read
That
this.
guy. Okay, you're going to get to him.
I need to stop laughing like this. If I'm in your ears, it's probably like the ugliest noise. Okay, I'm not gonna do it again.
Okay.
So, the first question is, to understand state capture at Transnet, we need to know what is Transnet. Jody, go.
Oh,
What is Transnet?
the transport people.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Transporting what though?
No, like the modes of transport, like trains and stuff. Am I wrong? Yo, I sound like someone who is not an educated person.
No, but that's like the answer though. Like, if no, that's the average answer. I mean, like, if you would ask like someone on the street, like if this was like the Jimmy Fallon show, we would have stopped people in town and be like, "Yo, what is Transnet?"
The train people. That's the answer.
People with the taste for trains. Spur people.
With the taste for life. Guys, we don't go to Spur anymore because they're culturally appropriate.
Spur's cancelled. So, I then Googled Transnet. I was like, guys, like, seriously, but now what's the deal? Google says it's the South African rail, port, and pipeline company. Now, what I know from taking a train when they existed in the city, now they're a distant memory. But I know that, like, the trains that you take to work, and I don't know if you have a dick appointment and you're going to get there in the afternoon and sleep over. Though that's governed by PRASA. And that's the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa. Yo, I'm quiet.
That is very impressive that you can just say that without looking at notes.
False.
What is the... Are they independent of Transnet?
Yeah, they're not the same. But like they use the same rails sometimes. So sometimes like you'll be at the train station and then you think there's a train coming, but then there's like a horn that goes... And then everybody jumps out of the way and there's like a freight train that's going... Like really, really fast.
Oh, is that the Transnet people?
Yes. So, from the Transnet website. So first I Googled it, and then Google was like, okay, they're the rail, port, and pipelines. And I was like, there's a few questions here. Rails, and ports, and pipelines.
Seems like a lot.
No. So the Transnet website says, Transnet Freight Rail is the largest operating division of Transnet. So that's not even the whole bag. That's a part of the bag. And their primary business is to provide rail transport of commodities for the export, regional, and domestic market.
Oh, they're in the commodities. Okay, all makes sense now. Not people.
Yes. So they operate a world-class heavy haul coal and iron ore export lines, and they're developing the manganese export corridor to heavy haul standards. I don't know. Manganese is like important. So then I found out that South Africa is like the biggest coal exporter in the world, which is wild.
Are you sure?
I read this in the Daily Maverick.
Okay, I believe them.
Let's give it a quick Google, just in case
Are
my
you
memory is
serious?
shit. Biggest coal exporter in the world. Okay, I looked it up. I'm wrong. It's not the biggest coal exporter. That was a bull-faced lie. But South Africa is one of the world's large coal exporters.
Okay.
And for anyone wondering, the biggest exporter, according to Google, is Indonesia. Sorry, I lied, but then I also took it back. So, okay, so we export coal, and then for that you need the trains, and then the trains go to the ports, and then the ports, they export it like that. But we also have pipelines, and I was confused by that. The pipelines are to transport fuel and gas over varying distances. So that's what Transnet does. It's a lot of stuff. But it's also a public entity because it's a state-owned enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So they make money for the country, and because of that, the entire process of procurement like as in buying stuff that needs to be open to the public, completely transparent, rigorous like methods of doing things, like lots of red tape, and it's actually a crime for a member of the board or any Transnet official to be grossly negligent or fail to comply with their roles. So if they don't do things properly, like for them, it could mean like a fine or it's serious.
Yeah.
We've spoken in the first episode about how Zuma wanted to rework the SOE so that he could plant his BFFs and get money from it. And now we're going to talk about like Transnet. So right now Transnet is in a lot of trouble at the moment, and we'll speak about that later. But
it's not going well for them.
Let's just chat about like the main characters of the story. So I actually made a new document in Word. The name of the document is called Dodgy People.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're gonna have like a hall of fame of like the Dodgers.
Do you remember in The Office? Oh, guys, I need to make one Office reference in this podcast. You know, remember Ryan?
Yes.
And then, like, remember when he comes back from, like, being fired, then he comes back and then he keeps his list of people that wronged him? This is that. And the little black book, and he writes down the names of people. Jim. Dwight. That's our list.
Is that when he goes blonde and locks himself in like the broom cupboard? It's like
He
so
doesn't get locked in
small.
the broom cupboard. Jim puts him in the broom cupboard. That's his new office. I could talk about this forever, but let's not. The people are gonna be like, this girl have no life.
He was so serious. Okay, sorry. Dodgy People. Okay, let me introduce you to a guy. His name is Malusi.
I was so hoping you were gonna say his name.
His name is Malusi Gigaba. His title is Chief Dodger, Dodger in Charge, Minister of Dodge. Like he is sketchy. He is as sketchy as they come.
But he is yet so unbothered.
Unwashed, uncleansed.
He is totally unconcerned that this is the things that the allegations facing him. He's just like, it's fine.
Do you know what I think? I think his nails, his hand nails are like trimmed, like short and filed neatly. Because only assholes pay that much attention to their nails. I reckon.
What?
I googled him on Wikipedia. I'll tell you some stuff about him. He's known as the chief architect of state capture.
Hi.
He is involved in the Dubai bank account scandal. Do you remember that time where Dudu Zaine Zuma was like in an interview and he was like, there's nothing, there's no I don't have any.
I'm very triggered by these names.
He was involved in this Dubai bank account scandal, which involved Gupta's, the Transnet, Eskom, and SAA. Can I tell you something funny? He's the son of a pastor.
I was going to say something very bad, but I don't think I should say it on the podcast.
It's always it's always them.
I'm glad you said it and not me. You're in each other's minds. It's always like
I
that.
will be brave and I will say the things that need to be said. You were thinking it.
I was thinking it.
No, but like you were listening, you were also thinking it.
You knew exactly what we were gonna say.
Look at me saying use.
There's
Like
just too many examples of it. Everyone.
Listen, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
But wasn't he also minister of?
He had a bank account in Dubai in his name, which is something that he's not allowed to do as a state servant. He denied it. And denying the fact that there's a bank account in your name means that like somebody opened it up for you, which is fraud. So, which one is it, my dude? Decide. Because he said, oh no, it must have been one of my assistants who opened up the account for me. It's like, okay, so then are you accusing your assistants of committed fraud then?
Throw your assistant under the bus just like
Are you
that.
going to send someone to jail then? Decide, my man. Which one is it? Anyway.
Shame.
I'm not done, Jody. This is like, we're only talking about the chief character. We're not even in the story yet. He illegally gave the Guptas South African citizenship. He was the Minister of Home Affairs.
Oh, that's what he was minister of.
There's a family, a very influential family called the Oppenheimers. He let them operate a private terminal at OR Tambo Airport.
How much did they pay him?
That's not a thing that you can do. I don't know.
If someone wanted me to do that, you better pay me billions and billions. Not that I would ever do that because that's wrong.
My thing with getting paid that much money is, will you have access to it?
Is it liquid? I read that in that book. Meaning, can you actually go to the ATM and draw that money and have it in your hand?
Oh, is that what it means? Oh, okay. Now, the final gagger.
Oh boy.
The final nail in the coffin. There's a video.
Wait, I don't know if it's what you're gonna say.
What do you think I'm gonna say? There's a video of him performing a solo sexual act that went viral on social media.
Yeah. If that happened to me, I would remove myself from society forever. And this is a public facing. This is why I'm saying this guy's unbothered, bruh. He just walks into the street the next day. Like everyone didn't see that video on Twitter.
Yeah, then he went on Twitter and he was like trying to defend the whole thing. Psychopathy. Sociopathy.
No, but
What is
there's
it?
a study. No, let me not say that. But studies of like sociopath, like you need to be a sociopath to be able to work in those kinds of positions because it's just not normal. You need to this is why CEOs, politicians, there are certain roles where there's a higher rate of sociopaths in those jobs. This is true.
Do you think Kim Kardashian is a sociopath?
Why?
Okay, first of all, she's definitely like physically removed from reality.
Oh,
physically,
she
mentally.
is. I'm not even going to start on my rant about their family.
Okay.
But she lives in a different realm of reality that is... She's tone deaf.
I have a fantasy about Kim Kardashian.
Spill it.
I want her to be shit's creeked. Like, lose literally all of her money. And then I want her to, like, be reduced to, like, living in, like, a shack in Kailicha.
Did you see what she did in the week?
I want that for her.
Did you see that thing she said about people don't want to work anymore?
Yes.
I was like...
Kim, please.
Just
please.
don't say anything.
Please, Kim.
Please don't try to give a sociological analysis about anything because you don't know anything. You... Imagine things say... Okay.
Let's move on. So we just covered Malusi Gigaba. The next character in the story is Brian Molefe. He's intimate with the Guptas. That's like from Wikipedia. It's like the word that they use is intimate.
Ew.
I know.
Ugh, ew.
I wish I could have used something else like friendly, close.
Even just close to.
Intimate.
No, ew.
Anyway, so he was the CEO of Transnet and Eskom at different times. Now, in 2011, he is appointed the CEO of Transnet. And this is after like a whole bunch of dodgy dealings at Telkom. And then there's a board that's set up at Transnet at the same time. In 2012, he initiates this plan called the Market Demand Strategy, which I'll get to later. It's a 7-year investment plan with a full 420 billion rand budget.
Okay.
So that's him. Okay, now next character, Anuj Singh. He's the CFO of Transnet, and so like he's in charge of like the money, chief financial officer. In 2009, he's appointed the CFO of Transnet. That means he has the final say on the like financial matters, and he's like pivotal in taking the money.
Note how these are only men we ever speak about.
Except for Buttermilk.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2014, just 3 days after Transnet awards like this one train contract, the Guptas open up a shell company, Venus Limited, and he gets that company transferred into his name. Like, so Transnet awards a contract to China South Rail, it's a company, for a lot of trains. And literally 5 weeks later, he gets appointed the account holder of this company called Venus Limited that the Gupta set up. So they happen like at the same time.
Okay, I get you.
Then we have this guy Siyabonga Gama. In 2010, he's dismissed from Transnet for irregular contracts. Like, for issuing irregular contracts. So he's like, oh, you're like not doing your job, you're like not doing due diligence, we're gonna fire you. The very next year, Brian Molefe appoints him as the head of Transnet again. And
There's
then
no consequences in this country.
It just doesn't make sense. Okay, so then I have to mention, there's a special mention to Pravin Gordhan. He comes out looking like the hero in the story.
Again.
I thought about it, I was like, he's like Harry Potter, actually. Remember in book number 6 and book number 7, and also book number 5, actually, where Harry was like cancelled. The wizards were like, oh no, he's undesirable, number 1. We don't associate with him. Like, nobody believed him when he said Voldemort was back. And like, that's how I feel about Pravin Gordhan in terms of state capture. There was like a time where he got served all sorts of like legal summons and stuff, and they faced him, you are doing illegal stuff, and he was like, what? He's like genuinely confused about the whole thing. All sorts of accusations were leveled against him, and he was genuinely bewildered by them, and there were all attempts to discredit him so that big questions that he raised wouldn't be heard, or they would be just disregarded. And I feel so sorry for him. Yeah.
Imagine you trying to do a good job and these other people you have to deal with every day.
Yeah. And he's really like a dedicated like public servant.
Yeah.
Look, I hope there's like nothing dodgy that I'm missing. Like, if there is, please let me know, and then, you know, we'll shame. But I also just want him to be on a boat with like, I don't know, a nice meal, some falafel, you know, just have a good time, just relax. You've done enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so now our story begins. Shame. We're at like the 2-hour mark, and now we're telling you the story. So we have these dodgy characters. I was like in my literary mode. I said, like vultures, they could smell the fresh meat and surrounded themselves.
This is why you were right to do it.
In 2010, Gigaba becomes the Minister of Public Enterprises, which is literally the word to describe someone in charge of all the money-making state companies. So I never understood that term until all of this. And now I understand too much.
This is the problem.
This is the problem. Okay, so Kigaba comes, the like sketchy dude in charge, like the mastermind of evil, Voldemort. He comes in, he's appointed Minister of State Enterprises. Then he's involved of making sure that Brian Molefe gets in as the CEO of Transnet, and Singh comes in as the head of the Transnet freight rail. So that's the train section. But now Siyabonga was like literally fired the year before for awarding irregular contracts. Anyway, they put him back. Now there's a new character. His name is Iqbal Sharma, and he's in charge of the Board of Acquisitions and Dismissals Committee. This is a new board. It didn't exist before. And this bruh is closely associated with the Guptas. They are like not even in the same WhatsApp group. Like if there is a WhatsApp group and then there's another WhatsApp group like to discuss things, like that's him. Yes.
He's in the inner circle.
Yeah. So its main job is to oversee spending. That's this board, the Acquisitions and Dismissals Committee. So 2010, 2011, 2012, a new thing starts that I mentioned earlier. It's called the Market Demand Strategy. And the market demand strategy is like literally what it sounds like. They were like, we need to increase our expenditure to meet the demands that we foresee coming. So like we need to make sure that we are prepared for the demands of the industry. And so we need to spend more money on stuff and like be prepared.
Okay.
Okay, so they need to like buy more trains and stuff, but that also means that more money is going to be spent. And with Gigaba in charge of the public enterprises, like because he's in the ministry, he's able to approve that kind of spending much easier. So there's a lot of people in positions that can just say yes to things.
Yeah.
They were very clever about it, like putting a lot of people in a lot of positions.
Yeah.
Instead of just like one or two people. Like the network is quite large. So Gigaba was there. But then because of like cabinet reshuffle, he gets moved over. And then Lynn Brown comes in.
Yeah.
But she is not a fairy princess.
No.
Like she just watches. She's like, okay, fine. So I'm just here to make sure that things go exactly how they were before. So then this consultancy firm comes in.
Again, them.
Yeah. So the thing with consultancy firms is like I explained already, but if you like didn't pay attention, if you like approve the presence of a consultancy firm, they can oversee spending and make recommendations and things like that, and that goes above and beyond what Transnet is meant to do. So you're circumnavigating existing controls.
Okay.
And it's so problematic to outsource that because it's meant to be an internal thing with lots of checks and balances. So in this case, there's these 3 companies that get used and they all belong to the Guptas. The first one is called Regiments Asia. They're registered in Hong Kong. Another one called Trillion. And another one called I want to say Tequesta, but if it's Spanish, it could be Tequesta. T-E-Q-U-Esta. Tequesta.
The Gupta owns all of these 3.
They are shell companies set up by Salim Essa. Now, you're like, there's so many people
This
involved.
is becoming complicated.
No, but it is. Salim Essa is a Gupta in commerce lieutenant. So there's Iqbal Sharma, who's involved in Transnet, and he's like affiliated with the Guptas. There's Malusi, who's the chief guy in charge. There's Molefe and Lynn Brown, who are like in charge of Transnet. But then like also we have Gupta people working in affiliation with government agencies. So they're not like working for Transnet, but they work alongside.
Okay.
So he sets up these companies and he owns shares in them.
Who?
Salim Essa, the lieutenant.
Okay.
Let's call him the lieutenant.
Okay.
I really hope it's not illegal. Don't sue me. So both Regiments and Tequesta, they have the same business address, but they don't have any other independent business. The only income that they have is coming from like kickbacks from negotiating deals with Transnet. That's the only money. So the payments that they have come from facilitating the contracts and relationships. Kind of like when, remember with Bain & Co?
Yeah.
Where they paid that third party money to introduce themselves to people with SARS. So it's like the same thing. Questions?
No, not yet.
Are you aligned?
Yeah, now I'm following.
So now there's like these shell companies that don't exist for any other reason other than to collect money. And they are paid like to negotiate deals that don't make any sense. So Transnet, they start spending money on cranes. And the spending budget goes up significantly. So in one case, a contract is awarded worth 650 million rand. 95.6 million rand of that goes to a Gupta shell company. In another case, they buy more cranes. And then a South African Gupta-linked front company is paid $2.2 million to secure the contract. So every time there's a contract between two companies, this Gupta company also gets money from it.
Okay.
And
I've got it.
yeah, so it's like if you want to buy a plant, but you don't know what plant you're gonna buy, you pay Stodels, but then you also pay me for telling you what plant to buy. Except I'm not supposed to be paid in this instance. Is basically it. Anyway. So the biggest money that gets spent in these two companies is this one contract with, it's called China South Rail and China North Rail. And they meant to supply Transnet with trains, like a lot of trains. And the value of like this contract is 61.6 billion rand.
Oh boy.
Bruh, 7 billion rand of that goes to the Guptas. 7 billion.
You know, there comes a point, and this is literally, there's a study that has shown this, where you make so much money that it doesn't even make sense for you to get more money because it doesn't even make a difference to you. So what is the point?
7 billion rand. It's like, I can't imagine
We will
that.
never see that kind of money in our lifetime.
Never.
What are they doing with it?
I don't know.
Why?
It goes to the Gupta businesses. Now, they already have their own lucrative businesses.
Exactly. Why do you need more?
Like, they have those dodgy Saharas. Did you ever have Sahara computers in the early 2000s? You know Sahara? It's a Gupta company.
What?
You know the company Sahara?
I think so.
They make like speakers and computers and stuff like that, but it's all really bad. Like the stuff breaks all the time. Terrible.
They have so much money, but they can't even make a quiet laptop.
I don't think they use their own stuff, to be quite honest.
I bet you they don't pay their employees, dude.
Nah, there's no way.
There's no HR in their companies.
They didn't even bother to get IDs and like permits to come to this country for a wedding. What makes you think that they care about due diligence and like other people's feelings? Or just other people? Okay, so from Wikipedia. In 2012, Transnet issues its tender for 1,064 freight locomotives. A locomotive is a train. 599 electric and the rest is diesel.
Nah, guys. We spoke about energy last week. Last episode, I mean.
This included 25 billion rand in tenders that were signed off by Molefe and awarded to China South Rail. China South Rail, in turn, paid Tequesta Group Limited, a Gupta-linked shell company, 5.3 billion rand in consultancy fees. So the rest of that...
They got 5.3 for doing consultancy, which, if we remember, we still don't know what that is. So
Yeah.
for doing nothing.
Yes!
Is this China North Rail people?
China
Are they
North
legit?
Rail-
They a legit company?
No, I can't answer that question.
But I'm saying like they...
Are they a thing that has money? Like a lot of money? Yes. Do they exist? According to this.
They make trains.
Do they make trains? Wait. Worth noting is that the money is being siphoned overseas, so it's harder to track. This is actually a thing that was in the news because since the Zondo report came out, now people are discussing this. Now, the banks are like... The journalists are like, but wait. The banks didn't notice that there was money going everywhere. Why did they not do anything about it? How did the money go from one bank account to another bank account and leave this country without anyone blinking an eye? On the radio, I heard them talking about Standard Bank. Apparently, there is a team of people who was watching this whole thing happen, taking note of things, but apparently...
Apparently what? They saw it happening, but they didn't do anything.
I'm not saying that they saw it happening. I'm just saying that there was a team watching the news when it comes to like the state capture stuff, and they were unable to. They couldn't catch them. I can't answer these questions.
Okay.
I just know that they asked Standard Bank, and Standard Bank was like, they held up their hands like.
Oh no, that's not a good look.
No, it's not. But I don't know who banks with Standard Bank. Not me. So...
Yeah, my mother literally dropped them and moved to another bank.
ABSA, Standard Bank, if you have banks with them, literally, what are you doing?
What do you make with?
See your life. I bank with... I can't really say that
Let's not say it.
I can't stand banks. But I can say, like, when it comes to, like, if you need a PIN code sorted out, if you need your bank limit increased, like if you are in a situation where you have to go to the bank branch, you have problems.
If you can't do it on the app.
If you can't do it on the app, if you can't like sort it out like very quickly, sis, come into the fold, come into the new year, please. See yourself.
Yeah, going to the bank is one of the worst things. It's like home affairs, going to the bank, it's all bad. Going to the pharmacy. Actually, anything that requires you to go anywhere is bad.
Shops.
Oh, no, shops are the worst. Yo, it's the worst.
Malls.
I was literally about to say malls. If you need to go to the bank, if you need to do anything that requires you to go into a mall that you cannot do online or get delivered to your house.
If you need to leave your house.
Yeah, under any circumstances actually. That doesn't involve socializing.
Even if you need to socialize.
Just stay inside. Just don't do anything and stay inside. Just don't go anywhere.
Jodie's like lying down on a bed and she's like, guys, don't do it.
Because the minute you leave your house, bad things happen.
Okay, so here's this money now going left, right, and center. It's disappearing into the ether, like literally, like.
You're into the abyss.
Praveen.
Yeah, shame, man.
Praveen is like, I'm picturing him coming out of the woodwork like, wait, guys, wait.
Again.
Wait, no.
I can just see him get an email and just sign. Like,
He comes out and he's like, guys, he flags it and he raises concerns that there's over expenditure at Transnet. And he's basically like, he questions whether or not the way that they're doing things, the strategy of it. So everything that they've been doing, all the money that they've been spending, the contracts that they've been awarding, it's meant to align with this market demand strategy.
okay.
So Praveen is like, okay, but like from the strategy point of view, I think that you guys are spending too much money and it's not aligning with like the actual demands. So the demand is not there, but you guys are spending money for anticipated demands that are not actually anticipated.
Okay.
So he's saying that we don't really know if this is the best way to do things since we're purchasing goods that are not being used. And another thing that I need to say is, and we laugh about state capture because it's absurd, but like there are people who work at these companies who knew what was going on around them, and they were asked or told, or there's a culture of silence, there's a culture of fear, and nobody's allowed to say anything.
Because whistleblowers get killed in this country.
They do.
Like, you cannot say anything.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
And so like what was happening at Transnet, like it must have been really scary. So this is like what's happening, and this is like now in 2013 he flags something, then he flags it again later in 2016. So in 2016 they're meant to be spending like X amount of money per year to keep up with the strategy. Like the strategy says spend this much on this time and then you're going to do this. It's like a book that tells you what must happen. So I'm reading from Anatomy of State Capture. In 2016, the progressive spending began to falter for a number of reasons. From a financial perspective, there was a reappraisal of the market demand strategy, given that the projected economic growth upon which it was modeled had not been realized. So exactly what I was saying, how they said they were going to spend this much money, but like it wasn't lining up. Over the next 2 years, capital spending decreased to pre-2012 levels of around 20 billion rand per annum. So they weren't spending enough. As a result, by 2012, only about half of the market demand strategy budget had been spent, despite the strategy being in its final year. So when I read that, I was like, surely that's a good thing. But actually, if you're a company and you're not on target in terms of your expenditure, it's a very bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it means that you're doing bad business.
Yeah.
So this is in 2016 where things start to slow down. Then in that same year, the NPA,
National Prosecuting Authority.
Yeah, headed by Tuli Madonsela, she releases that state capture report. And then headlines start
Was she
coming
head
out.
of the NPA?
National Prosecuting Authority?
No, dude, she was the public protector.
Oh, oops. Don't they work for the same... No, it's different. Okay, never mind. Apologize, I backpedal.
Now she works at Stellies.
What does she do now?
Something at Stellenbosch University.
She shouldn't have left.
She was probably sick of dealing with these people.
The one that we have now is another issue.
What mess?
So now state capture starts going into the headlines. It goes downhill from there, and all in all, about 8 billion rand went to the Guptas. But our country, so 8 billion rand went to them.
Wait, sorry, did you say 8 billion?
Yes.
Okay.
So 7 billion rand was that one deal. But in total, 8 billion. And like as a country, like we lost 37 billion rand. Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous. It's like an unfathomable amount of money.
So now let's talk about the trains that we ordered.
I was going to ask, did they ever arrive?
So I wanted to answer this question. We ordered from China South Rail. We ordered the China South Rail is the one that like had the most amount of money. We gave them the most money. 359 trains. We only got 208. China North Rail, we ordered 232. You won't believe how much we only got.
I'm so upset.
21.
No, you're lying.
Imagine ordering 232 things and you only get 21. I can't make it up. And this is like straight from the book. Like I screen grabbed it, put it in.
How? I just don't like. How
That's
are these
another,
things
that's
all
another
allowed to
question that
happen?
needs to be answered.
How are these things allowed to happen?
It could be that like, it could be, I mean, I don't know. I can't remember if the book goes into detail about this, but it's like, it could be that there was another payment that was meant to happen before all of the chains were fulfilled. But this is bad governance.
Yeah.
This is like ridiculous, actually. 21 trains out of 232.
This explains why there's no trains in this country.
But this is Transnet.
I know. Yeah.
This is like...
This is not even for commuters.
Yo, okay, so right now Transnet is in big trouble. They are unable to carry out their business properly, and it looks like there's very little oversight. There's petrol thieves going on the trains, stealing petrol from the trains, and because of load shedding, the trains are stopped in the middle of nowhere. And now, in one case, the petrol that they tried to steal, or petrol or diesel, whatever they tried to steal from the train, is now running into the Free State River. So now it's like polluting the river.
Okay, so we have now an environmental disaster on our hands. On
Yeah.
top of it.
And there was a guy, I was listening to a podcast by, let's check, what was I listening to? Boop, 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 boop. Podcasts. It's called Biz News Power Hour. And like this guy who works at Transnet or something, they interviewed him, and he was saying how like the trains are just standing there in the middle of nowhere, there's trains overturned, and the fuel is just leaking out of the train like everywhere. And it's supposed to take 18 hours to go from Johannesburg to Durban to transport like stuff that needs to be exported overseas. It's taking like 36 hours. So all of our orders, like people who are expecting things from us, like all of those orders are being delayed. It's like a big economic, environmental issue. And this guy was saying that, and I don't agree with him, but he said that he feels that Transnet should be sold to private entities, because as soon as people understand the value of like losing money, that's when it'll be well run.
Yeah, I can see why he says that.
But I can totally see why he says that he's right, but I don't think they're just giving it over to a private company who could be foreign, could be any other country where the money's going to be in very few hands. I would rather that like the management was better done. Give it to people who can actually manage it.
Yeah.
I don't think the answer is
privatizing.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve the problem. Yeah, you're right.
And this is our money. It's our like. Anyway. So we really do have a big problem at the end of the day when it comes to Eskom, when it comes to Transnet. Like there's miners who like are affected by this. It's like
Yeah, it affects like us sitting here, the citizens.
I was going to do more research and talk about Danelle, and I wanted to wrap up with Sasa, but Jody, I was so depressed.
No, it's so depressing, Michelle. I totally get it.
Reading this news, and then like the stuff is going into the river, like I actually couldn't do it. I was like at the coffee shop and I was like, no, I'm done. I can't feel this heavy.
Yeah, I get it. It's incredibly, incredibly upsetting. And like, my only hope is that now that we have the reports, the Zondo Commission reports, and we have all these recommendations from our boy, now they need to do so. Like, what was the point of having this huge commission of inquiry that cost us literally millions and millions of rand, and we produce he produces these reports, but if nothing happens as a result, what was the point?
He has
Like
recommendations.
he has recommendations of who to prosecute and stuff.
Mm.
So they need to do it, because then it's again just gonna be, we had another commission of inquiry, we have reports, and that's it.
Yeah. No, people need to go to jail. People need to burn for this. Honestly, like, and like, people who know about it should make their voices heard. Like, if it means that we need to go stand there and protest, if it means we have to like flood inboxes with emails, if it means that we need to like, I don't know, like, I don't know what we need to do, but like, it's not enough for us to know about stuff and be angry about it. Like, we need to like identify avenues. I mean, I would like, depending on what the next headline is, like, he's now released all 3 reports, right? And recommendations. Whatever body is in charge next.
It's the MPA. The MPA needs to prosecute the people that he said. But the problem is the MPA said that they don't have the capacity. Because you must remember they're dealing with all the other criminal cases in the whole of South Africa. So it's a lot of stuff.
So what must happen?
They need more money. That's what they said.
But we don't have money. There's no money.
Yeah. I think I read in the news last week or the week before that the NPA got R1 billion or something to help, to like give them the resources to prosecute more effectively and whatever. But it's a serious problem.
I need to see people in jail. I need to see people like nailed to the coffin for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I need spiritually.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And I'm gonna find out what must, like, I'm gonna look into this and I'm gonna face.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people are realizing. Like, I know a lot of civil society and the journalists are realizing it's no good we have these nice reports and nothing happens. Because it happens all the time, where we get nice reports with really good recommendations that will help us solve issues, but they never get implemented. Like, after Marikana, there was a commission of inquiry. It produced reports with recommendations about what to do with the police and stuff. We're still waiting. Maybe one has been implemented.
That's Becky Elemos.
Yeah, Minister of Police.
Take him out. Throw the whole thing away. I'm so radicalized right now. Like, honestly, I never should have found out about this. I'm too angry.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Burn every... I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I'm upset.
We're just calling for anarchy is what we want.
I'm not even an anarchist. I'm not. But like, this is insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is that we already are in a state of anarchy.
Yeah.
If a government agency can't pay the rent, if we can't prosecute people, like, okay, if you can't prosecute people, if you can't send people to jail, that's a crisis.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, that's a crisis of the judicial system.
Yeah.
That's one of the pillars of a functioning society.
Yeah.
The other pillar is what?
absolutely.
Policing. If you can't do that, that's 2 down.
Yeah.
Now what must
But
happen?
the problem is that the institutions, state in South Africa is a weak state. Like, the state is categorized by dysfunction. So there's no sense of governance.
The problem
There's
with
no... Yeah.
the problem with this is that with these kinds of conditions, especially people being hungry and not having food,
Exactly.
what happens is you make things ripe for violent conditions. Like,
Yes, this is how it works.
I'm talking like tyrants come out of the woodwork and like, I will lead the way. And then that's what, like, then you're sitting with like Idi Amin.
Mm.
Then you're sitting with all of these irks.
Yeah, and this is why South Africa is the way that it is. Because it's the weak system of governance. There's no accountability. The state institutions that are supposed to uphold the country and let's not even talk about that this completely undermines democracy.
Should we buy an island?
Yes.
What about, hear me out, Pablo Escobar, that island, is it still available? Let's go. Who owns it now? The feds.
Where was that again?
It's where Fire Festival was. Oh, no. It's where they wanted it to be. They
Where?
wanted it to be. Pablo Escobar bought an island. I don't know
but
where it is.
Okay,
But there's like pigs and you can like go look at
No,
the
thank
pigs.
you. Okay, let's go there, but we remove the pigs. Unless we make them out for bacon.
No, Jody, I'm vegetarian.
I ain't!
I'm not eating the pigs.
I'll eat the pigs.
Pigs are cute and smart.
Michelle, they are not cute.
They are cute.
I don't like pigs.
They are really, really cute. And they're fat. You can like cuddle with them at night and they'll be like they'll be like blankets. It'll be nice.
Michelle, I genuinely don't like looking at pigs. Like, I'm not being funny now. This is really a thing for me. I told you I don't like farm animals. I really don't like... I don't like pigs. We've had bad experiences with cows. And I don't like horses.
Sheep.
Okay, sheep are alright. They don't do anything. They eat. That's all. They mind their business.
Birds.
Birds is not a farm animal.
Ducks.
Ugh, they're fine.
Geese.
No? You know those things are violent. Chickens? You know how I feel about chickens. With my neighbors that have chickens that wake me up at 5 a.m. And while I'm on a Zoom meeting, I hear the chickens next door.
Okay.
I have a serious issue with farm animals.
Ostrich.
They taste nice. Dude, imagine, have you seen those things run? Imagine that thing is chasing you.
No, they will kick you from here into another dimension.
Exactly, don't mess with ostrich.
Peacocks.
No, they're fine, they're pretty.
I'm out of farm animals.
But you see, they don't have a good track record. Cats is the only ones. You know how I feel about them.
I don't like cats.
That's not true.
That's not true. I do like cats.
No one is interested in our animal preferences.
Okay, we need to go. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe. Tweet us. Also, like, if I said something wrong in this episode, if you want to, like, comment, email us your podcast.
21 at Gmail. Yeah, please let us know if we, like, just speak in absolute hogwash.
Like, tell us. Come talk to us.
We can handle it.
Okay, I know that, like, out of our 2 listeners, both of them are going to send us voice notes. But let's say like on the chance someone in Bali is listening, holla. If you like,
If you are listening to this podcast while you are chilling in Bali, then that's problematic.
if you like in maybe you like sitting in the Netherlands, holla
Holla at your girls.
at your girl.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.